Here's why manifesting does not work. Manifesting gives you the illusion of control. When people manifest, it's because they are trying to control the outcome. They're trying to mold and meld and make things happen. And let me tell you a little story. I used to be a master manifester. I would put things out there and they would just come to me. Boom, boom. I had friends who were just like, Gina, this is crazy. Every time you put something out there, it just comes to you and everything just flows. And like, how do you do it? And I would just be like, I'm just manifesting. And like, I would have these ideas. But here's what I learned through this manifesting. I'm going to keep manifesting. What I was doing is I was changing my beliefs. And when you manifest, or when you think that you're manifesting, all of these things that you're doing, like, the tarot cards or the crystals and all these tools that you're using and using the elements and all that stuff, what you are doing is you are internalizing that. So you are taking all of these ideas, all of these emotions, and you are creating a belief within yourself. And what happens is when you create a belief within yourself that says, this is what I believe, this is how I feel, this is what I want, and you start to internalize that and live it, then guess what? Things do change. Because guess what? You create your reality internally. Your belief systems are what create what's happening around you, the way you perceive things, the way you think things. So let's say you're doing a manifestation and you're telling yourself, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. And you're doing these things. You've got your citrine, you got the moon, you've got the journal, you've got the affirmations. But what's happening? Maybe it's not happening around you. Maybe somehow this abundance still isn't coming to you and you're wondering, like, I'm doing all these things. Why isn't it working? Because you're not internalizing it. So sometimes when people do this manifestation and these rituals and all these things, they believe it. And when you believe it, that's when things change. And all of these rituals, all these things are great. These tools are awesome because they do help us reach that belief system. But if you're able to change and shift your beliefs and your perceptions, that's what's going to shift your reality and have things flow to you. And it's the surrender to the flow. Because how often when we're trying to control things, do things not really work out exactly how we thought? So sometimes even when we try to manifest, we have this idea of how it's going to work out. And then the universe goes, it's not going to work like that. And then what happens is you still get that thing, but it's not at all how you thought it was. So if you learn to surrender to the flow and allow, as you're in this belief system, you will find that things are going to come to you without this without this sense of like, I have to make this happen. I have to do this. This needs to happen, without that urgency. So it's like that urgency that kind of creates this sense of lack, because when you manifest, you're also putting out in the universe that this is something you lack and something that you want. And the more that you want something, the more that your desires are attached to this thing, like the harder and harder it is for you to accept and allow it to flow into you, because the universe does not understand nots and don'ts. All it understands is the yeses and the I ams. So as you're believing in this manifestation, it's that belief system. So you're really training yourself to believe it, not necessarily training the universe to believe it, because the universe and the people around you, all they are is reflections of you. So they're just reflecting back what you believe. And if you are able to believe it, truly believe it in your heart. You can say 100 million times, and I know there's that saying, fake it till you make it. And sometimes there's a lot of truth to that, because the more you do something, the more you are that thing. Thanks, Aaron Doughty. That's his thing. Once you start it, then you are it. So once you start doing these things, once you believe it, once you internalize it, once it's something that you say, I have this thing, I believe in this thing, then it will start to happen for you. So you might say, oh, that is a sense of manifesting. And maybe, but what I'm trying to get at is that it's not something happening around you that's causing these things to happen, these things that you're desiring. It's within you. And it's not about this like the strength in the power of getting it. Because really, the universe, like, no matter how much you want something, I mean, want is just like wanting and needing, all of these things, they're all very tricky in the spiritual world. Because if you're flowing and you're flowing in gratitude and you're flowing in love and you're coming from your heart and you're speaking from truth, then you will have these things flow into your life. You just automatically will. It's when you have that doubt and when you have that fear and when you have that lack that sometimes motivates people to start manifesting. And, I mean, it's like when things work out, you're like, oh yeah, I did it. And then when they don't, you're like, oh, this isn't working. Let me try something else. But none of it's really going to work except when you go in. When you go in and you say, I am going to embody the sense of this belief. I'm going to shift my mindset. I'm going to change my belief. I'm going to believe that I can have these things. I'm going to believe that I am able to experience these things. Because we think, oh, I'll never do that. I'll never do this. You say it, you believe it, you're putting it out there. So it's a reflection of you. So if you can turn it around, go in and start to believe it, and you say, well, how am I supposed to believe it? It's never happened. Like, that's not so, well, there's the challenge. There's the challenge, y'all. That's the challenge, is to shift the belief. Now, I'm not saying I know exactly how to do that, but what I'm trying to say is when the goal of these things, these manifestations, and the way that you believe, the way that you're trying to make things happen, it's all going to come from you, baby. It's all going to come from you. Yep. And, giving yourself that empowerment and saying, like, I have the power to create my own reality because of my own beliefs and my own perspective, then you're free. Really, you're free. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to process through those belief systems, to change our beliefs, to shift the way we think, to change our perspective. And it is not easy at all. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but you can do it and it's possible. And there are so many things that are possible. There are unlimited things that are possible for you in your life, for me in my life. A lot of it's going to come from shifting these beliefs, these habits, these patterns, and allowing surrender, not having so much control. We have control and we think that makes us powerful, but really, it's an illusion of control, which I'll talk about on a different video. But anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about manifesting. It kind of came into my head today as I've changed my ideas about how manifesting works and how it may serve me or other people. And so, yeah, it's about your inner belief, guys. When you manifest, what you're doing is you're changing your inner beliefs systems more than anything. And that's what's causing things to change around you, So, yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe. I'm posting meditation videos. I'm going to do a tarot series soon. I'm also going to be doing a free sound bath series. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.